Hey, Jeezy.
What up, though? It's been a minute.
How you been?
Slow motion, baby. Just getting it together, keeping it tight,
Facts. I just want to let you know your girl was Team Jeezy on the verses. Just
Yeah. I already know you was a real one, though. you was probably,
like,
hey, you was probably smoking good, too. I know you.
just so like, I just remember your show at the Velasco in downtown LA. That was one of the most lit concerts I've ever been to, and I go to hella concerts.
Mm,
So off the rip, it's like that energy at your shows. Like, man,
appreciate that.
yeah. I mean, do you miss it?
Yeah, I do. It's crazy because it's like, when you in it, you running around and you like, damn, I can't wait for this to be over. But like now, it's like you miss it because you miss the energy. It's different when you pulling energy from the people that love you, and you working on other projects or doing what you do because you feel the energy from the people. Even with records, like you doing records, like you don't know how they feel outside in the world because everybody kind of in their own bubble. So you got to
Fact.
kind of wait it out. Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird space to be in. It's almost like making music from the house and never going outside.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so you don't know if it's bumping in the club, in the car, you know what I mean? At the kickback, like you just don't know.
Right. This is Slim, by the way.
Slim? What's
Yeah.
happening? What's happening, Slim?
Well, Recession 2 out now. How you feeling?
I feel good. I feel that this body of work was needed for me, especially
Mhm.
at this point in my career. I wanted to do something that was more live instrumentation. I wanted to
Oh,
really paint a picture. I think I got enough club bangers in my arsenal of music that I just wanted to do something that was artistically a body of work and that can kind of be the vessel for what's been going on the last 6, 7, 8 months. Because I think sometimes we so social media bound that
right.
we look at things and they go away. And I don't think this younger generation realized they was really a part of a civil war
Right.
fast, and they was in a situation where the leadership was almost a dictatorship. Like this guy came in as a president and tried to basically divide the world in front of our eyes. And not
Right.
to mention you got a pandemic going on, so the streets are different. And it's a real thing. Like we just had the three-headed monster. We had racism, we had bad politics, and then we had a bad economy. And I just think like, a couple of TikTok videos in a presidential election, everybody forgets about this shit. And I'm just like, man.
Right.
So I just wanted to capture it in that time. And I think, it's one of those things like wine. Like you go back to it later on, you're gonna be like, wow, I didn't even think about it like that.
Definitely. I mean, off the rip, you got Tamika Mallory on the intro.
Yeah,
Like, that's
yeah.
so powerful. How did that happen? Like, what did that mean for you and just the Black community?
It was real because I was sitting in my living room, and this is around, and I had just got back to Atlanta, and I was just starting to record the project, and I had been here all of 3 days, and I never forget when they killed George Floyd. I was just like, what the hell? And I just remember the whole world just erupted, and I'm watching it from where I'm at because if I stand on my rooftop, I can see what's going on in Atlanta, and I could see like police cars going, helicopters. I'm like, yo, what the hell? And
Right.
it was a riot overnight. It just happened instant, and it was a different world. And I remember watching TV and just kind of seeing what was going on. And I heard her speech, and I was like, damn, like she really the voice of reason because the shit she said, I couldn't muster those words up. And I'm like,
Right.
and this is a woman, and she's on
Right.
the front line, and it doesn't even sound like this is coerced. It's like she's really speaking like real talk. And I just remember that just resonated with me well. And I was doing something for I want to say Steve Harvey, and she was on there, and I was just like, yo, that speech you did was amazing. I just hope people don't forget it, you know.
Right.
And saying that, I was working on the intro, and I called. I was like, yo, sis, like I really think that speech needs to be heard. And she's so G. She was like, bro, you got it. Whatever you need, whatever else you need. And I'm like, wow.
Hi.
Chopped it up, and I put it on the intro. And I just think that we all need to hear that at least one time a day, just so we don't lose grip of where we at. And I think for her to say those words at a time like now
Mm-hmm.
is so much needed because it's coming from a different place. Like I could talk to my fans and followers about how I feel, but this is somebody else's whole different perspective. And I'm just bringing the worlds together and saying, yo, this is the world we live in. So just be aware. And like,
Right.
don't be oblivious to what's going on because, you know, you got your nice watches, some cars, and you're living the life. It's like your people out here struggling. And I just wanted the world to hear it. And she set the tone. Like she really
Right.
set the tone. Yes, she set the tone.
Man, I super agree. And you know, just coming to an end with the year, like how does it feel to be a Black man in America during this time?
It's different. It's starting to lighten up. You know, it was one point where it was just like, you know, it was unreal because it was almost like your white friends were calling you like, yo, bro, I'm with you, or what can I do to
Right.
help? It's like it was real for a minute. And you know, and it was just like, and you sit there, and I just had some people that I knew, and I just be like, well, you know, this is our reality. Like to me, I've been dealing with this my whole life, so I don't feel
Right.
the pressure the same. But I guess because of social media, everything's out there now. But at one point, when I saw what happened with Ahmaud Arbery, George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, to name a few, it did start getting to a place where it was just like, hold it, like this is just really just happening, and we're all seeing this. Like the Ahmaud Arbery thing was the wildest shit in the world to me.
Right.
It's, you know, you can't even go to the safari and get away with that with some animals. They will lock your
Right.
ass up. You know what I'm
See,
saying? They don't play that. You can't go out there and fucking kill a, you know, a elephant in the safari. Like, so these are human beings that are being hunted down, and it was like, damn, you know. And it got to the point where I was driving, and in Georgia, you don't, if you're not a convicted felon, you can carry as long as it's in plain sight. But it just makes you wonder, like, I mean, is this something I need to be doing? Because shit, if I
right.
get pulled over, I don't want them to be like, you know what I mean? It's like I don't want them to use that for an excuse. And when those thoughts start going through your mind as a taxpayer and a staple in the community, I think that's when it's a real thing. So speaking on behalf of Black men that are successful like myself and some that are not successful, it was a couple times where I was like sitting back like, damn, like if I go out or my son go out, like these are real
Right.
conversations because I don't know if he might make it back. You know, it's
Crazy.
almost like the lottery. It's like it could
Right.
happen. And when you saw what happened to George Floyd with the malice behind it, it was just unreal that people would, just because you're law enforcement, like people would sit there and let you go that far. It's like with anything, it's like, okay, that's far enough. He's not resisting. But to kill someone on camera just shows you the lack of respect that they have for my kind. And as a Black man, that's very concerning to me because, you know, it takes a lot to take a life. You know,
Right.
it takes a lot. You have to be a certain type of person to be cool with that, let alone be cool with doing that and filming it. You know, that's all I'm saying.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
On a lighter note, can you talk about getting Demi Lovato and Lil Duval on one track? That's
Oh yeah. First of all, it's crazy because Demi a G. So those y'all who don't know and kicking that Walt Disney, nah. She's solid. You know, it's crazy because Demi reached out to me to actually get on a record of hers that was about what was going on in the world. You know what I'm saying? It was about the struggle, the racism. I'm just like, yo, and the record is crazy. I don't know when she's dropping it, but it's crazy. So I did the record, and I
yeah.
actually had a chance to sit and listen to it. And I was like, damn, I should just reach out to him because I was like, yo, Demi, I got this record. You know, I know you're gonna kill it. And by the way, you're going to all the barbecues with me as soon as we put this. Don't even worry about it. You good? It's an SOS.
Okay.
You good after this, sis? And she killed it. And Duval was like, because Duval set the tone. Like, so when Duval came around, we played the record. He set the tone. And I was just like, you know, and a lot of people like, you know, why Duval? I'm like, because he's Duval. Like, I didn't know who Nate Dogg was until I heard him with Tupac. You know what I'm saying? Talent is talent. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And he's good at what he does. He lightens it up. Like he makes it fun. And getting them both on the same record, My Reputation on the new album, I just felt like it was just different for Jeezy. It was different for them. It's just a mesh of people that you don't see together. But if you saw us at a table, you know we having a good time. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? We talking that talk. So shout out
Right.
to Jimmy, shout out to Lil Duval, and you know, shout out to the SOS band for even letting me use that sample because they tough. You know what I'm saying? They
How
tough.
did how did she reach out to you? Just via DM or what?
She reached out to me through her manager. She reached out
Oh,
through LeBron, and then I thought she was so cool the way she did. I was like, yo, just shoot me a number. I call her myself. And
yeah.
I just started calling her. She called me like, yo, what up, bro? We just chopping it up all the time about everything. And then we just started talking about, you know, the records and, you know, what I was doing and what she's doing. And she's really genuine, and she's a G. Like, she's like, yo, whatever you need, I got you. You know what I'm saying? I saw she posted something when the album came out. Like, you know, she's really genuine. I like that. I like genuine people.
Definitely, me too. I was actually on YouTube at the studio, and you know, Almighty Black Dollar visual came up. That just
Yeah.
bring us back to that recording session.
So what it was I was doing the record. I did it. It was probably maybe like the 6th record I recorded. Shout out to Justice League. They sent it to me, and I knew what it was, so I had to sit on it for a minute, like pause, but I had to like just hold it and just like think about it. And I was like, yo, this got to be an anthem. And I just came up with the because it sounded like epic. And the Almighty Black Dollar kept coming. I was like, how am I gonna put these words together? And it just came out. So I did it. I hit up Ross. I was like, yo, well, first I hit up Jay-Z. I was like, yo, I got this record. I sent it to him. He was like, yeah. He was like, yo, it's crazy. Then I hit up Ross. And then he was like, yo. Then I hit up Puff, because the whole thing was I was gonna put me, Jay, and Ross on it and have Puff talk through the hooks.
Oh shit!
But the timing was off, so it was just like I couldn't get everybody on. But like Ross had sent his verse in, and I listened to it. I was like, "Yo, me and Ross killing this." Like, so, and I knew I wanted to shoot a visual, so I was like, I didn't know how hard it was going to be to get everybody in one place. So I was like, "Yo, me and Ross killed it. It's probably one of the best records we did, and we both on that tip right now." And when he sent it back, I was like, "This it, this the one."
Facts.
Yeah.
That's video shoot.
Oh, you said what now?
What was the best memory from the video shoot? I know you guys are all dripped out.
The best moment was being able to see some people. It was like, cause you know, we had people being quarantined, tested, and it was just like, you know, you're scared to death. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
you know, with the elbow. But the best moment was actually seeing my vision come together, because I remember talking to the director. So all my visuals, you know, I pretty much direct them and write them and then tell the director what I want. So I was like, yo, I want to do this Frank Lucas scene, because I just felt like when he came in that boxing match, all eyes was on him. He was black excellence, even though he was in the streets and there was real mobsters and Gambino people there. He was the most important person there, because they knew he had potential. And that's how I wanted to be for us. So when we came in, it was that. I had the whole Frank Lucas hat and the mink, you know what I mean, the chinchilla coat on. I had my first lady there. She killed it. She was looking amazing. Ross came through dripping with the minks. We brought the old schools out and just put it all together. So everything you see in that, I actually sat down and wrote it out. And that's what I really wanted. And it came to life. And even at the Fox Theater, the last time I've been at the Fox Theater, I did my 10-year anniversary show. And it was crazy. I brought out Kanye, Andre 3000.
Wow.
I mean, you name it, like the whole city was there. So that was the last time I was there. So it felt good to go back there and do something dope. Because I remember riding by it, looking at those lights like, I got to do something special with this Fox Theater. So shout out to Fox Theater for letting us come through and crush that.
For sure. You say, you know, all this Fendi and Gucci is goofy. What's your take on designer?
I think it's bullshit. I mean, not in the sense of the word. I'm just saying, like, let's support our people too. I mean, you be fly. But like, if you're going to put people's kids through college and get them, you know, basically set up their trust funds, like, let's support each other too. I mean, I just feel like just because I don't got something with a designer tag on it don't make me less of a man. You know what I'm saying? And I don't feel like people out here risking their lives and their freedom to wear this shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, yo, let's look out for the people that make, you know, make stuff for us too. Because I just feel like the money has to circulate. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, if you take the tag off a Birkin bag and somebody else came up with something just as fly, like, what's the difference? You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. That's the thing about a village is once we start taking care of each other and feeding each other in the village, then the village flourishes. You know what I'm saying? And if we all taken away from what we get and we work hard for and putting it somewhere else, then our village doesn't flourish. You know what I'm saying? Flourish. Excuse me.
Right. For what it's worth, I don't see the hype in Birkins at all. I think they're kind of ugly.
I mean, I get it, but what I'm saying in the sense of, let's not make something everybody else make a trophy of
Facts.
success for us. That's not a trophy. Like if you show me your kids got a trust fund, that should be a trophy. You show me you got some stocks and bonds somewhere, that should be a trophy. If you show me that you own, real estate here and real estate there, that's a trophy too. So let's put that in the equation too. And I'm not trying to preach. I'm just saying in 20, 30 years, you ain't gonna be able to do shit with that Gucci or that
Right.
Fendi. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like you better hope that shit come back in style. You know what I'm saying? Or you gonna be out of it. And for me, I just feel like I gotta be the person to say that because I never, like, even when I was wearing shit like that, I was wearing it because it was a fad and it was cool. But once you start adding shit up and thinking about it, it's just like the people that I know that are really wealthy, they don't even do shit like that. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Like they find better ways to spend their money. And I'm not trying to tell nobody what not to do, but I'm just saying let's spread money around in our community too, so that at the
Right.
same time, like we're eating too. Like don't have, the people over here at the seafood shack, about to go out of business, but you over here order, you know what I'm saying? You over
Right.
here ordering $500 meals, you know what I'm saying? But you're not putting, $60 back in your community and all, you know what I mean? It's like, it doesn't make sense to me, that's all.
I got you. Was the plan always to drop the album right after Versus?
Yeah, well, yeah, because what I did notice, like the versus thing was like, because I watched a few and I thought they was dope, and then
Right.
I always said like I ain't doing that, you know what I mean?
Shut
I'm not gonna do that. But
up.
they kept coming at me like, yo, you gotta do the verses, and people would hit me, and I'm just like, man, I don't really want to do it. And the only person that makes sense, I don't know if that makes sense. So,
Right.
of course, my brother Tip called me out, you know what I mean? So me being a
Right.
snowman, I had to pull up, like, yeah, okay, I'm here. What you want to do? And
Right.
the process, they asked me, and I'm being truthful, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, like, I don't really think it makes sense if Gucci wanted to do it, and then it was just like, all right, cool. And like I said, he respectfully, like, he was like, I don't think I don't, he looked at it like I looked at it. You, at some point in your career, like, you don't want to do that because it makes it look like you're dated.
Right.
And well, really it didn't, because it's a new age thing. And
Right.
which I respect. And I was just like, yo, man, they want to see it. What we
Right.
gonna do? You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
people reach back out, it's like, yeah, run it, let's do it. So and to drop the album that day, for me, it just like it just really made sense, because you have to align your stuff up so it makes sense, just as far as what you're doing. Because what I do know about Versus is everybody that participates, their catalog does go back up. So
Right.
it makes sense, yeah.
How does it feel? Did you anticipate to have the most viewers in Versus history?
I mean, listen, I knew it was a gangster party, I'll tell you that. I know people
Uh,
were on the edge of their seats like, oh my God.
right.
But for me, that's when culture wins again.
Right.
9.1 million insights. That's a
Crazy.
deal.
That. It's super
That,
big.
that's almost bigger than the Grammys.
Right.
We're talking Super Bowl shit. So
Right.
I just think that's when the culture wins again. That's when you see, you get to see our worth. We might not see it the same because it's so in the street, but when you put it on the main stage and the main screen, you see what we're really working with. Yeah.
Definitely. And what did it mean to do that in Magic City, so close to where
Yeah,
y'all?
Magic City for me was that's when my career started. R.I.P. DJ Nanjo, he was one of my good friends, and he was the house DJ there, and he broke all my records from the beginning. Like him and all the dancers really, had a lot to do with my success in the beginning, because I used to go to the club, and that club they used to play my music
Right.
3 hours at a time, and everybody in there would sing every word and throw money all night. You're talking
Right.
millions of dollars being spent.
Crazy.
And that was
That,
every night. Yeah, it was real.
right.
So for me, that's when my career started. So when I even was like, yo, I'm gonna do it, I was like, but I gotta be in Magic City. And that
Right.
was a big thing to me, because I wanted to take it back to there, and really show Nando some love and show the city some love. And that's a
Right.
staple. Like Magic City forever be a part of my legacy. And just to sit on that stage knowing that there was nights I used to stand on that stage and throw money galore, you know what I'm saying? Champagne galore. And it's just like, wow, look at this now. We got the whole world tuned into the stage. And it was a big deal to
It
stand
really.
on that stage. Yes, because the dancers was on the stage. But if you was a made man and your kid
Oh,
was made, you can kind of stand on the stage without the security tripping, because you was yeah, you was a big dog. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You can't be no out of towner who don't know nobody, or you ain't about your issue and stand on that stage. They're gonna tell you to get your ass down. You feel me? Yeah,
Definitely. You know,
yeah.
I think everyone can appreciate the speech you gave at the end. You shouted out King Von and Nipsey, and
Right.
what were you going through in that moment? Like, you brought it, like, you kept it all the way real, like, for real. Like, I think we're all touched by that, you know?
I mean, it was just real. It was like, I could turn this curve and we can go back 20 years, man, but I just can't, it was in my heart. It
Right,
wasn't coerced. It was more so like, yo, like this shit gotta end, bro. Like we get, like not even for me and you, but like for them. Cause what I
right,
saw what happened to Von, and that's what I'm saying. Like when you hear about these things, they different when you hear about them, but when you see them, it hurt. You know what I'm saying? It hurt
right,
for me to see that kid as big as a star he was headed to be, in a brawl, and now he's being shot in the street on camera. Like you see it. You see
right,
them trying to put him in the truck and them shooting up the truck. So it's just like it's the wild, wild west. Like, we saw what happened to Nip. Even though Nip wasn't killed by somebody who was an artist, he was still killed by the hate of the culture, being, if you disrespect me, I'm gonna do this to you right then and there. You know what I'm saying? And to see that kid run back and kick Nipsey Hussle after he
right,
was down just because he had that much hate in him, that hurt me. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, it's just like, I want everybody to be rich, everybody to be successful, and figure out the best way you do it. You can do it, but I just always got to sit here and think, like, if Big and Tupac could have done the verses, or if they could have gotten the same, like, what would the history of this be? Because we're only following what we see. You know what I'm saying?
right,
You're only going by what the history is. If you disrespect me, I'm going there. If you did it, so it's just like what you're seeing play out is what they think is a part of the rap culture. And at the end of the day, like, the goal is to get in this and be successful. You know what I'm saying? To be able to bring other people up when you see
right,
these guys get in here and make themselves a large corporation. It's not to get killed, and it's not to come from Brooklyn, which is one of the toughest neighborhoods in the world, make it
right,
out, then go to the Los Angeles hills and somebody come kill you while you sleep, like
right,
Pop Smoke. Like,
right,
it makes no sense.
right,
You know what I'm saying? It makes no sense. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's just like, I ain't even trying to preach. I'm just saying, like, if it's up to me, like, I want to see him get money and live. I don't think the name of the game is you get money and then, your hood depending on you, and then you go out here and somebody kill you like Bankroll Fresh. That don't, it just, it's
right,
crazy to me. Like, it's like,
right,
why take somebody's life? Like, figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, if ain't nobody did nothing to you and touch your family or whatever, like, it just, the mentality of it just made me say that then and there. And it was like, I don't know. Like, I mean, I could say it was Fernando, you know what I'm saying? Like, telling me, look, man, you gotta, but whatever it was, that's how it came out. Like, I didn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't, like, you know.
definitely. Real quick, I want to touch on, congrats on your new show on Fox Soul, Worth a
Yes,
Conversation.
yes.
What is it? When, like, how is it being a talk show host? Was this a long time in the works?
Well, thank you. The honest to God truth is, I'm the type of person, always had an open mind, and that's how I was able to navigate through life. So
Right,
I found out that my key and my success that I've had is being able to talk to people who've been through some things. So
right,
what the conversation is just that. Like, I think my last episode I had Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms, and we joked about her sitting me down with Joe Biden and just all these things, and my first guest was Steve Harvey, and
great,
Tamika Mallory, like all these different people. But you get to sit down with them, and I get to ask questions that, when you're sitting on your grandma's front porch and you want to know how to get out of there and make better for yourself, or you're sitting in the barber shop and things just ain't adding up, like, you can't ask people around you because they're in the same situation. So for
right,
me, like, to be able to talk to people that was outside of that gave me a up, and it helped me out in my life. So for me, being able to talk to Steve Harvey for a whole hour and ask what I want to ask, and talk to him about real setbacks, and talking to Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms about her father being locked up for drugs, but that made her stronger, and it's just so many things. I think people need to hear that. So is an extension of the music, because you only can say so many things in an album, in a song,
Right.
in a verse. And this is like a whole nother conversation. So all my platforms, I want to use them to like give people knowledge and give them wisdom and give them
Definitely.
the gems that they need, because it's real. Like, and if you give the right person those gems, they can go out and change other people's lives. And I just think everybody can't sit down and talk to Steve Harvey.
Right.
Everybody can't sit down and talk to, Mayor
Facts.
Lance Bottoms. Everybody can't sit down and talk to a Deion Sanders and really get out of what he was going through when he was thinking
Right.
suicide. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It's just like it's just a different extension, and that's what I love about who I am and what I do. I'm just a vessel. Like my
Right.
talent, my gift is giving back. My gift is putting people in position. That's who I
Right.
am. So anywhere I can do that, even with my podcast that I'm doing with
I heard.
Charlemagne the God and Black Effect, is basically the opposite of that. So this is more about real life. This is more about, my first guest on that was Tony Robbins, and we talked about what the world needs. And my
Right.
second guest was Freeway from Rock Nation, that he talked about going through his kidney failure and getting a
Right.
kidney from
Oh,
somebody's
I.
son. Yeah, and then his son being killed and him having to donate 4 of his son's organs to save somebody else's kid. And at the same time, while he's sitting next to him was his daughter, and she just got diagnosed with cancer. And I'm like, how you getting through all this? And he like, just the faith of God. Somebody got to hear that. you know.
Right.
My
Yeah.
last guest was Byron Allen, and we talked about what it is to build the Black Dollar. And he, you see what he's done with all these networks and everything. I mean, billions of dollars. And I'm like, some Black kid out there need to hear this. Like, he need to, if he's sitting in his room or trying to figure it out, like, this just opens his mind up. You know what I mean? So
Right.
Worth the Conversation is more lifestyle, and the Recession podcast is more real life. So you can get that wherever you find your podcast.
Fire. Last question. From the streets to rapping to talk show host, how has the meaning of hustle changed for you throughout the years?
I think, well, I think hustling is something that anybody can do. You just got to apply yourself. But
Right.
my goal, and what's always been my goal, because I told him when I came in the game, I was corporate thugging, was to become a business,
Yeah.
myself. And that means you make money while you sleep. That means people around you make money while they sleep. That means
Right.
that everything is at your fingertips. You can go and sit down in a room with somebody and say, hey, listen, we need $500 million to make this happen. And they're going to go, you know what? I can see that. Let's go raise this. You know what I mean? Like, it's just
Right.
being a business yourself, and having integrity, values, and morals, and being able to go out here and create and make situations that people can actually, eat off of and live off of. So for me, going from a hustler to a businessman was a hell of a transition, but that was always the goal, because a hustler, we stood on the block. It is what it is. But a businessman, so he buys the block and he's making money on the block while he sleep. And that's where we at with it.
Definitely. Is there anything else you want to let us know?
Oh no, just Recession 2 out right now. Make sure you go get that, and just you keep your head up. You know what I mean? Stay solid. You know what it is. Until next time.
Till next time. I appreciate that.